Hi, welcome to Chamber Connection. I'm Candace Lee with the Towns County Chamber of Commerce. We've got two really good spots for you today, bringing it into the holidays with a topic that we don't like to talk about a whole lot, but that needs recognition this time of year especially. I've got an old friend. I'm going to call you an old friend because I've known her family for so long. She has been in Towns County her whole life, but her family's been here for a very long time. This is Haley Sylvie, and she is, and I'm going to have to read this because I don't know what these stand for. She is, after her name is LAPC NCSC. And I'm going to let her explain those in just a second, but she's a Suicide Prevention Initiative Project Director. I told you it wasn't going to be a great subject that we want to talk about, but it is something we need to cover. She is with the Council on Alcohol and Drugs. Yes. How are you?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm good. Tell us what the letters stand for.
So the letters stand for LAPC, is a licensed associate professional counselor. So I'm a licensed therapist.
Okay.
I practiced therapy for about 2-3 years before I came. And then NCSC is nationally certified school counselor.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you've got it, you get all those when I guess you get a counselor position, which is, that means you've gone through all the training, which is perfect
Right.
for this job. How did you get with, the Council on Alcohol and Drugs is huge.
Yes, it is. We actually serve all the regions of Georgia.
Okay.
So we serve all of those. And I got through the council, I actually saw it advertised through Family Connections.
Okay.
And they said that they were looking for suicide prevention in towns in Union County, and I'm always looking for ways to give back to the community. And when I learned about the suicide burden, I applied for the job. They were looking for someone with a clinical background, and I started April the 15th of this year.
Okay. So where were you before? You said you were 3 years as
Yes.
a counselor. Where were you before?
I did my internship at a nonprofit in Coweta County, which is Newnan, Georgia.
Right.
And then I worked for Avita Community Partners.
Okay.
I worked under their APEX project, which provides therapy to kids in schools.
Okay. So this is a new topic for you. This is a new area for you.
It is, yes.
And I know you can't say, I'm not going to ask you if you're having fun because I don't think it's something that you have fun at, but you do make a difference.
Absolutely. And I do enjoy doing my trainings because, I'm out there giving people information, showing them that suicide isn't something you have to have a master's degree to talk to somebody about. It is something that you can just look at someone and say, hey, are you feeling okay?
Right.
Are you thinking about this? And they can really make a difference. And I enjoy seeing people realize that for themselves. Like,
right.
I can ask this and it's going to be okay.
Right. And it is something nobody, you don't want to talk about. It's just like reporting any other kind of illness or abuse or anything else. People
Exactly.
are scared to approach the subject. So I know the council is in Atlanta, and do you have an actual office or do you?
I work at home, actually,
Okay.
and then I can do suicide prevention trainings anywhere in towns in Union County.
Okay.
So I can do workplace trainings, churches, family connections, groups. Just if a group of people wants to get together, I can do any kind of training like that.
Okay, and that is needed. I don't remember anyone doing that here before, so I think I think it is needed, and it is a topic, and I know they talk about it, especially in the schools. We have Amy's been with us a couple of times
Yes.
from Family Connection, and she has hit on the subject just a little bit, but really I don't think they've had anybody in the school system that has just concentrated solely on suicide prevention.
Right, exactly.
So now give me some statistics, is that a bigger issue in the schools than it is for adults?
So actually right now, the highest population that we have is middle-aged white males.
Okay.
And that's actually, I think, a nationwide average.
Okay. So it is important to get the information into the workplace.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
And does the statistic also say whether those males are working or non-working or?
So what we found when we did our needs assessment, and our needs assessment is what we did that kind of showed this is why we need our grant. It showed that the top reasons for towns in Union County was lack of public transportation,
Okay.
lack of industry, so lack of industry employment, and lack of entertainment.
Okay.
So when I'm doing my trainings, I kind of break it down as there's nothing to do, nowhere to go, and no way to get there.
So you're stuck. They feel stuck.
Yes.
Oh gosh, that's yeah, and it is. And I think this time of year especially, I know the numbers go up just a little
Yes.
bit, and that's for maybe a different reason than you just pointed out.
Yes.
It's just
It could be an anomaly, separated from their family,
right.
or maybe they're the last of their family. It's
Sure.
it can be a lonely time.
right. So when you're working now, and I know you've just been there since April, so you're just getting your foot in the door with a couple
Yes.
of businesses here and trying to get more information in the schools, of course. What are you working on right now? Like, do you have training scheduled or?
So right now we are going to work on scheduling community trainings after the beginning of the year,
Okay.
because right now it's just around the holidays and everything. It's a little bit too much. So I hope to do trainings in like maybe the rec center or a hotel, and kind of advertise that throughout, run it out in the newspaper, talk about it on the radio, that kind of thing, and just say, hey, if you're interested, please come out. The trainings are provided for free because that's what our grant is paying for me to do the trainings.
Okay.
And then, like I said, a lot of businesses are being contacted and asked if they would like to do them as well. So,
Okay, and you mentioned churches, correct?
yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's a great.
Yes.
That is a great way to get to a whole lot of people quickly.
Yes.
Especially this time of year, I would think.
Yes,
Yeah.
so I'm working with churches to get scheduled, and places are always welcome to reach out to me as well, and schedule them.
Well, let me ask you truthfully, how has it been since you kind of moved over into this area? Is it something that interests you really? I mean, that's different than what you were doing before, and
It is very different than I was doing before, because at first I was kind of working face to face with people, and now I'm doing more of the prevention side of it.
right.
But I do consider it to be very fortunate because, I was raised in Towns County. I'm very passionate about this area, and there's not a lot of resources here. And meanwhile, we're struggling. Right now the reason we have this grant is because Towns County has the highest suicide rate in the state of Georgia.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and we've actually had it for the last 10 years.
Oh.
So
And it's not talked about.
Exactly.
So we wouldn't know.
Right. So it's not talked about. We're really struggling, and so I saw this as an opportunity to really give back to the community that I love so much.
Right, exactly. Gosh, that's well, and I don't know that. I don't know that anybody really knew that figure. We don't have a lot of people to begin with, but when you have the highest rate, suicide rate, that really makes.
Right.
I mean, it can be a low number, but it's a lot for our population.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So are you? Is there a suicide? What is an 800 number?
Yes, there is, and it is the Suicide Prevention Lifeline.
Okay.
And it's 1-800-275-TALK. And I think that breaks down to 8255.
Okay.
So it's 1-800-TALK. So yes, that's it. And then there's also a crisis text line that I don't have right off the top of my head.
Okay.
But something that I do when I do my trainings is I give out these little cards, and it has the warning signs of suicide on it and the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline on it.
Okay.
And then I also did it at the square at Halloween. So I gave out candy, and then we gave out Suicide Prevention Lifeline cards just to kind of spread that around so that if somebody needed it, maybe it would be in their kid's Halloween basket, and they'd be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And
they didn't have to. And I think that's another thing. People don't want to ask for that information. People that are feeling down or feeling that close to suicide, they don't want to ask for the help.
Absolutely,
Or maybe they don't even want to admit that they need the help. And it could be to the level that it's dangerous.
Yes.
So, well, what else can you tell us about the signs of suicide? What should people be watching for?
So something that I talk about when I do my trainings is that there are direct signs and indirect signs. So direct signs are those comments like, I just don't want to be here anymore, or I can't go on, or if I don't get this new promotion, it's really going to be bad for me. Those kinds of things. But there are also indirect signs, and that's kind of more what people need to be on the lookout for. And I do tell people, like, these are the things, when you know a person, this is something that just doesn't sit easily with you. Like, that's kind of odd.
That she said that, or he
Exactly.
said that.
Or so one of the big ones is giving away prized possessions, or making sure that your affairs are in order. Someone's updating their will, they're paying off all their bills, they're giving away all their stuff, maybe there's a sign that something's going on there.
Yeah. Gosh, I I wouldn't just never even thought of that. Now I'm going to start watching. I mean, you
Right.
really do. I mean, it brings it home.
Yeah, and
But-
that's what I'm saying, like these trainings are for people to reach out to people in their own personal lives.
Right.
So I'm like, these are people that If you know that someone always has loved this one particular item and all of a sudden they just give it away,
Something's weird.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
going to sit uneasily with you. So
Yeah. So on a training, how long do those normally last?
they last about 45 minutes to an hour.
That's
and
not
then,
bad.
Yeah, no, and then there's time for questions afterwards. So.
Okay. Have they ever found in the trainings themselves that people that are attending those trainings are actually people that are thinking about
That has never happened to me, but it does happen in QPR trainings.
I can see
yes.
that. Yeah, I can see that happening as a way to maybe ask for help.
Yes, or people will be survivors of suicide. Maybe they've attempted or they've lost a loved one to suicide.
Yeah.
So that happens frequently.
And I don't know enough about this, so the questions I ask are going to sound dumb, but
No.
do people that are thinking about suicide, do they want to be saved? Do you think they want somebody to reach out and say, you're wanted here?
Yes, so that's basically the basis of QPR. So QPR is the idea that while you're not trained to do counseling, you're not trained to do some kind of intervention, you are capable of saying, hey, are you okay? I love you. I want you here, and let me help you.
Right.
So it says a lot of times people are reaching out because it's like, hey, I'm sick. I don't feel well. Please help me. And I actually compared a lot in trainings to if you have a friend and they say, my left arm has been hurting, I've been having chest pains, I've been really sweaty, you would tell them to go to the doctor. You would be like,
Correct.
oh my gosh, those are signs of a heart attack, you need to go to the doctor. And so if you have a friend who comes to you and says, I've been feeling really down, I've been having a hard time, then we need to treat that the same way as we would a physical illness and respond with that same compassion and kindness.
Are the statistics showing that people that have tried suicide, are they more apt to try it again?
There are some people who do attempt multiple times. However, what they actually show is that if a person is suicidal and they reach out and they're met with a positive response and their support system really comes around them to be supportive and help them, that they are less likely to try again.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe it just took something, and it's not necessarily a medical condition, right? I know that. See, I don't know if it really is a medical condition.
So depression is a medical
Right.
condition, yes. We treat it the same way, and we treat suicide as a byproduct of depression.
Okay.
So what we say in QPR is that suicide isn't actually the problem. Suicide is the answer to a perceived problem in your life. So, if someone tells me, hey, I'm thinking about suicide, I'm going to say, okay, why? Because the suicide is not actually the problem.
Okay.
Whatever is making them think about suicide is the problem. And if
Okay.
we can work on that, then the suicidal thoughts will hopefully be alleviated.
This is so interesting. We are bringing Haley back because I'm already out of time and I have so many questions. And I know when I go back to the office, I'm just going to start writing them down for our next time. But Haley Silvey is here to help, and she is here to share her training with churches, schools, any group you're in. If you are in, if you have a business that has 2 people, if I have a business that has 50 people, she is here to help you and do the training. It's only 45 minutes long, but it could save someone's life, and it could save someone very close to you.
Yes, absolutely.
Their life. You just don't know. So, Haley, what's the best way folks can get in touch with you for scheduling?
So they can send me an email. It's hsilvey, S-I-L-V as in Victor, E-Y, at livedrugfree.org.
Okay.
Or they can give me a call at 706-400-9847.
Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and do a plug for the Council on Alcohol and Drugs. Yes. I know they have a lot of information on their website as well, and that is the gaprevention.com website. But give Haley a call because she is here locally and she is here to help, and she'll help any way she can. I know she will. Yes. I know you guys, I've known you guys forever, and this is what this family has always done and always been like. So, Haley, thanks so much for coming on. We'll bring you back.
Yes,
I'm going to bring you back after you've started training,
All right.
and we'll talk about some different things and how it's going, and try to get as many people scheduled as we can.
That sounds like a plan. Thank you so much.
You're watching Chamber Connection. I'm Candace Lee with the Towns County Chamber of Commerce, and we'll be right back.
Finally, TV made for you. Introducing the all-new Kinetic TV, the next generation of entertainment. With multi-streaming, watch different programs on multiple devices at the same time. Over 10,000 video on-demand movies and shows. Plus, Kinetic TV gives you the power to instantly watch 72 hours of previously aired programs with replay. Never worry about forgetting to record a show. Experience the future of entertainment with Kinetic TV.
Hi, welcome back to Chamber Connection. My name is Candace Lee and I'm with the Towns County Chamber of Commerce. We're changing gears a little bit here because we've got Patrick Malone, and I'm just going to say retired but still into as many things as he can get involved in, and that's the only way I know to describe you.
Okay.
He's a morning radio personality. Of course, you've heard him on WJUL every morning, and he does some, I'm going to call your show political.
Yeah, it's kind of
Because
news
it's kind of
and
an overview
politics.
with Harry
Yeah.
from Clay County. So
Yep.
they do a great show in the morning. If you're up as early as they are, make sure you tune in and watch the radio show.
Watch the
Listen
radio
to the
show.
radio show. But we're going to talk about something different here in that, Patrick, this may even be new to you, is with Census 2020, and he is, I'm going to read his official title as it was given to me, 2020 Census Complete Count Committee Leader for Towns County.
There you go.
That was it.
Yeah, I do it for both Towns and Union
Do
County.
you do both?
Yeah.
There you go.
And the Complete Count Committee is something that the state of Georgia put together to make sure that there's an accurate and complete count when the census is done this coming April.
Okay.
So it's a state initiative because there's a lot of federal dollars. There's a lot at stake based on the census numbers. And in order to get our fair share, everybody needs to be counted.
And that was the first time I had heard about money being connected
Yeah,
to the census. I don't think people realize that.
680 billion with a B dollars are distributed based on population.
Okay.
From programs like Medicaid, Title VIII, all kinds of, there are about 75 different federal programs that are driven off of population, the disbursement of funds.
Okay.
So it's a big deal to make sure that you're counted. Now, the good news is, in the state of Georgia, Towns County in the 2010 census was the highest responsive county in the state. 87.6% of the people, the households, responded in the
That's good.
2010 census.
What was
Yeah.
Union? What was
Union was the fourth highest.
Gosh.
So it's this mountain area that we are very responsive to those kinds of things.
We just want to talk to somebody. If
Yeah,
they knock
yeah.
on our door, we just want to sit down, have a
Well,
cup of coffee.
See, they may not talk. They may not knock on your door this year because they're going to do it a little different this year.
Tell everybody what they're going to get in the mail.
This is the first time that you're going to be able to complete the census online.
Okay.
So starting in March 12th through the 20th, you'll get a postcard in the mail which will have that online website that you can go to and fill out your census.
Okay.
You could also do it the regular way. You could fill out on a paper copy, and there's be a phone number there that you can call and give your census information over the phone to a census taker.
How do they know they're not doubling up on information? Is it by the address?
It's basically by the address, but there are a lot of people that have two homes.
Okay.
So there are a number of checks and balances and algorithms in their computer programs
Okay.
that they use to knock out if they get two responses from the same household,
Okay.
because they're really counting households.
Okay, now I know there's folks out there right now in the counties and they're driving. Are they trying to find additional homes that aren't on the map, or?
They have just completed that effort, and it was verifying the addresses
Okay.
that they had on file.
Okay.
So they've done that. That was running about 120 days
Okay.
of checking addresses to make sure that they had accurate addresses.
Now, and I know for a while they were hiring.
A big hiring going on right now. As a matter of fact, there's 2 job fairs that are going to take place Monday the 9th in Towns County
Okay.
at the Public Library in Hiawassee, 9 to 11:30, and then again 2 o'clock in the afternoon to 5:30.
Okay.
There'll be a representative from the census people there who can help you. You'll fill out the application online.
Okay.
The other job fair is in Union County, and that's on Tuesday, the 10th, 9 to 11, 1 to 3, and 5 to 7 in
Okay.
the evening at the Union County Public Library.
Okay, at the Union County Library. So
Yeah.
we'll try to remind everybody of those times and dates again.
But there is a way to fill out the census online.
Okay.
And that's really the way they want everybody to do it. So it's 2020census.gov/jobs.
Okay.
And there are multiple jobs. They told me that they're looking for 120 people to hire in Towns County
Okay.
and 150 in Union.
Okay.
So they have lots
Plenty
of
of jobs.
opportunity. $17 an hour.
Wow.
Plus, if you use your car for doing the census, it's 58 cents a mile.
Okay.
So it's
Good job.
lucrative.
Yeah, good job.
Now, it is temporary. It'll only go while the census is going on. But
Okay.
at least if you're looking for work or you've got some flexibility, I think a lot of college students, it would be a good idea
That'd be
for
a
them.
great job.
They could work it in between their class schedule.
Yeah. Tell me why people don't want to be counted. Why
Well-
do people say this is Big Brother looking in, or what do you see as the real reason?
Well, there's a couple of reasons why people are undercounted. Number one, there are a lot of people who think there's some kind of conspiracy going on, and I don't know what you can do about people that feel that way.
Okay.
But strange things, like the most undercounted population is children under 5 years old. And I don't understand why. Did you forget you had a kid that was 3.5 years old, or what the deal? I mean, how do you-
Some of them really might have forgotten. So.
I guess it's possible, but that as a population, that's the largest undercounted group. There are language issues.
Yeah.
The census information is going to be available, I believe it's 17 or 18 different languages.
Okay.
But there are still people who might not be in the country legally, are reluctant to give any information. And here's the point. The census information is private. It is kept private for 72 years. So they don't share it with other government agencies. Matter of fact, there's a story when they were renovating the White House. The Secret Service came to the Census Bureau and said, we want all the names of people in this census tract because it's around where they were going to relocate the president.
Okay.
Census Bureau said no. They took it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said no.
Wow.
So it stays private for 72 years. Then it becomes public domain. Of course, after 72 years, who cares
Yeah,
if
that's
your
right.
census information is out there? But it's used for genealogy then,
Okay.
for people that do those
Sure.
genealogy searches.
So how long have they been doing censuses?
Actually, it's been around since the beginning of time. It is done by the Constitution. It's a constitutional requirement. The first census in the United States was in 1790. But if you're familiar with your Bible,
Oh, yeah.
in the story of the birth of Jesus, you know why they were in Bethlehem. The Romans were doing a count of the empire, right? So Joseph had to go to his place of birth. Now this year with our census, you don't have to go to your birthplace. You can figure
You
it out.
stay
fill
right
it out
where you
right
are.
where you are. Yeah.
Well, oh my
yeah.
goodness, that's
Yeah.
a lot of. That is interesting. It's been around that long, so I
Well,
can see that.
Think about all the reasons, not just the dispersal of federal money. And you know what? It's really not federal money. It's our taxes.
That's right.
Federal money, the government has no way of making money other than through taxes.
Right.
So it's our fair share coming back to us. But think about this. Your congressional districts are decided
Oh, that's
by
right.
the count in the state.
Yep.
If you look back in 2010, we got an additional congressional seat because of so much increase in population in Georgia.
Yeah.
And that seat is actually Doug Collins, what's called the new 9th district. It was Tom Graves at the time. He moved over to the 14th. but Doug Collins is the new seat.
I remember when they redrew some of the lines.
Yeah.
So that would have
Yeah.
been right after the 2010 census.
Right, and they'll do it again after the 2020. I don't think we'll get an additional seat then, but they will move around some of the congressional districts. In addition, the state legislature, both senates and representatives districts, are drawn based on
The
population.
census. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's lots of information out there, and I know you guys have, I know we have a lot at the
Yeah.
chamber. We have a whole lot of information on the census, and I know if you've never been through a census before, you're probably either very young or I don't know what, but
Yeah.
Anyway, if you need more information, it is readily available. I know we've got it at the chamber. I know the libraries have it.
Yeah, the libraries are big partners with the chamber, and they will have a special program on their public computers that if you have, you don't have a computer or you have a slow connection, you might want to go to the public library and fill out your census.
Okay,
Yeah.
use the computers there.
Census date, remember, is April 1st, but
Okay.
you can fill out the census anytime before then, once you get the website.
card.
The card.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
And it's important to do it as quickly as possible because that means there's fewer people that have to be contacted that haven't filled it out. And just so you know, the enumerators will visit households 6 different times after you have not filled it out, at different days of the week and different times of the day, to try to catch you at home to make sure that you get a chance to fill it out.
Okay.
So if you don't want strangers coming to your house, do it online, do it when you get the card, and do it right away, because I think people tend to get the card and say, okay, I got to do this, and they stick it in their drawer someplace, and it gets lost. They
Yeah.
forget about it.
When is the deadline?
The actual enumerators will start working once we finish April.
Okay,
So they'll start going out in the month of May.
okay.
They're giving people almost the entire month of April.
So it's not
fill it out.
really that long of a time before you've got to get that back in.
Yeah.
Which is good. I think that's good. So
Well, it's about a 6-week window from the 12th of March when the first mailing starts until the end of April. You got about 6 weeks. in
yeah. So, but I think that's good. I think the longer you drag it out, it is going to get shuffled around, and people are just going to forget about
there.
it.
Yeah, there's no reason to delay. You know how many people are going to be in your household. And that's another thing. There's some, if you've got like a kid in college, if they're living in college dorms or a college housing, the college will count them.
Okay.
If they're living in an off-campus apartment, they'll get their own census. They should be counted there.
Okay.
Now, if they're commuting from your home, you count them as
count 'em.
part of your home, your household.
So don't count your child 4 times.
Same way with military. Obviously, they know, the government knows where our soldiers
Let's
are.
hope they
Let's hope
do.
they know.
Let's
Yeah.
hope they
Yeah,
do.
that's a bad assumption.
Yeah,
isn't
we
it?
shouldn't have gone to that. Yeah, we shouldn't have gone
say
there.
bad things about the government, right?
That's right. So if you want more information on the jobs, it's 2020census.gov/jobs.
Right.
They're going to be in the Towns County Library on Monday, December 9th, and Union County Library on Tuesday, December 10th. And those are the times are broken up, so make sure you check with the libraries and find out. But good jobs are out there
Yep.
to be had. This story is going to continue because I'm bringing Patrick back in March when it's an urgent.
Yeah, and if there are people out there that have a business or belong to a civic organization that want me to come and speak for about 10 minutes and answer questions on the census, I'm happy to do that.
Okay, give everybody your phone number.
It's 404-630-7504. That's my cell phone. Or you can email me at PTM, Patrick Terrence Malone, 4936@gmail.
Okay, and I've got that information too at the chamber if you need that or if you missed it. But I'm glad you could come with us today on this
Happy to
Chamber
be here.
Connection ride. And we will bring both of these folks back after the first of the year. So I know some of you will be seeing this before the holidays, so we wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And you'll see both of these folks in 2020. You've been watching Chamber Connection. I'm Candace Lee with the Towns County Chamber of Commerce.